Well, I bought this portable lantern, and I got a big surprise today. It showed up in the mail. I wasn't expecting it until May 22nd. Oh, it's made in China. No wonder. Anyway, this is what it looks like. Comes in a box, and it does have an instruction manual. The manual. And this is what it looks like. It comes upside down, and it comes without the chain attached to the top. This little wedge thing here locks into the cap there. So I need to take the top off of it. These little clips underneath here are what's holding it in place. I don't know if I can do this or not. Never done it before. There we go. Okay, the top comes off. And the glass comes off. Okay? Because the first thing that has to happen is this is the mantle, and it has to be burned off. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the canister so that I can burn this off. It doesn't have to be on the canister to burn it off. The reason being is because you light it with a lighter or a match before you burn it off. Okay. And it says to be shaped like a dish. And that should about have it right there. So, I'm going to go ahead and get out my lighter. When you burn these off, they're supposed to shrink up. I thought it would actually burn, light up and actually burn, but there it goes. I'm going to have a smoke-filled house here. I don't recommend doing this indoors. I recommend doing it outdoors. We'll let that sit there and simmer for a while. You can, you can see the red ring right there. It's going to have to sit there for a little bit. Because this ash, what you're seeing here that is white, is the ash that is the actual mantle. And that's what puts off all of the light when you ignite this thing. So you can still see the red ring glowing there. It's burning up. And that's what I want it to do. I want it to continue to burn up. The smell isn't all that bad. It's kind of like one of those snakes that you light it on the 4th of July, the little kids play with. That You light a little pill and it grows and looks like a snake. That's what it smells like. So I'm going to go ahead and let that burn out, and well, maybe I won't just shut it off. I was going to just shut the video off and wait, but it's burning off a little faster now. I was worried about this cluster up here at the top. The thing about these mantles is you can't touch them. Once they're burnt off, you cannot touch them. They will disintegrate. So you got to be extremely careful when you're messing with them that you don't damage them, because this is what puts off the light. When I was a kid, grew up on the farm, and we had lanterns. And when the power went off, we lit up a lantern or two. And that quite literally lit up the entire house. You couldn't tell that we were without power. That's how bright they were. So I'm gonna put these back together, and this came apart on me. And as soon as that's done burning, I'll put it back together and we'll light it up to see what happens. Just about burnt off. And like I said, I don't want to jar this around, so I've got to be careful when I put this top back on there. It snaps in underneath, and I need to make sure that when it snaps in underneath, it doesn't move the lamp around too much. Okay, that is spring loaded. I did not realize that. That's a good thing. This doesn't seal all the way around the top. This just closes up the top portion, the center portion. The outer edges are completely exposed and open, so that when you get air through the bottom of this thing, it comes out and it's going to burn cleanly, hopefully. So I'm back on top. I need to snap this in place. There's one. There's the other. Now, let's turn this thing on and see what happens. I've got this lighter, the piezo. We'll turn this thing on. Wow. And look how bright that's shining. Look how bright that's getting. Holy cow. Wow. That is really nice. So now I can turn the flame down, because the flame is adjustable on this wick here. If I've got flames coming out of the top, it's wrong. Right now I don't have flames coming out of the top. I can turn it up and you can see the flames coming out of the top. Turn it back down, and the lamp is actually adjustable. You can turn the light down. This puts off quite a bit of light. But having grown up on a farm, like I said, I'm used to this stuff. And if you ever camp with a Coleman lantern, you know what this is all about. You know what's going on here. You have to light the mantle, you have to burn it off, and then you can light the lamp, and you can control the brightness of the light. So, am I pleased? Absolutely. This portable lantern is actually more than I expected it to be. Yes, it has the Made in China label, but yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And it puts out some heat. So if you're in a tent, I'm feeling heat all the way out here. So if you're in a tent, you can actually feel heat off this. There's a lot of heat up here. You want to be careful when you're hanging it up, when you're hanging it from this chain, that when you grab the chain, it's not going to burn your fingers. But yeah, am I pleased? Absolutely. I like it. And I'm sitting on a Coleman butane tank. We'll turn it around to where it's English. Performance blended fuel. So yeah, it's a great little lamp. Great little lamp. I like it a lot. This is going to be great for camping. And just like that, you shut it off. Now, am I going to put it back in this box? Probably not. I will probably leave it sitting on top of this canister simply because that mantle will disintegrate if it gets touched. It has a carrying box, and if you have extra mantles, which I do not at this time, I will get some. But if you have extra mantles, you can throw it in the box. You can take it on your camping canoe trip, camping trip, bicycle camping trip, car camping trip, whatever you want to. It's going to do the job. It's going to light the area up rather nicely. So, between the hostas and the fish that I caught earlier in the year for supper tonight, it's going to be a good all-natural meal. The fish are in the oven and the hostas are in the frying pan, and this is some leftover bacon grease. So I'm going to go ahead and saute these up in bacon grease and add a little bit of margarine, and it's going to be good. I cannot wait. Getting hungry. Well, the margarine's melted in and they're simmering, so just a matter of time. The fish need to come out in a minute and be turned. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this supper. My last Lenten supper this year. It's hard to believe it's Friday. It feels like Saturday. Can't believe I've got so much done today. I don't claim to be an expert. By far I'm not. But harvesting food off of the land, catching your own fish, shooting a deer, killing a rabbit, killing a squirrel, killing a pheasant, killing a quail, being able to butcher it and process it and prepare and cook it so that you can eat it. Those are basic survival skills. And in today's world, if you don't have basic survival skills, you're in trouble. Look at the people in Ukraine that are fleeing for their lives. Do they have basic survival skills? It's very possible. Chances are they've been living out of that big box store. They've been going there and buying everything they need and working a regular everyday job. Well, if you work an everyday job, that's great. And if the local box store has all the groceries that you need, that's great too. But if you don't know how to plant a garden and raise it and prepare it and cook it, if you don't know how to raise a hog or a cow, you better be able to hunt. Simple basics. You can prep all you want. You can have 20 years worth of food stored up. Big deal. When 20 years is over with, what are you going to do? If you don't know how to survive off the land, you're in trouble. Something to think about. Fish Friday. I got my fish all cooked up. I got my hostas all cooked up. So, yeah. Supper time. Yes, it's supper time. Let's start with 3. And, yeah. Finish up the 4th one later. This is going to be good. Oh, this is going to be good. Okay. The hostas taste a lot like asparagus. Yes. Very good. Between that and the fish, excellent meal. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, the sun is slowly setting in the west. Dark skies north of us. I don't know if there's a storm rolling in. There's not supposed to be any rain tonight that I know of. But, or tomorrow for that matter. But, yeah. The hostas were perfect. Oh, they were so good. I look forward to this time of the year because you can only harvest hostas in the spring when they're just starting to come up and they're not unfurled. Joe from Joe and Zach Survival has waited till they've opened up slightly, and he says they're still just as good. Apparently they get bitter when they come out to full leaf, but when you saute them in bacon grease and margarine, they're perfect. So, hostas and fish. I ate 3 of the fish. I've got another one that I'm going to eat a little bit later on. I stuck it back in the oven just to keep it warm. I don't like cold fish, and they just don't heat up properly in the microwave. Anyway, it's Easter weekend. Happy Easter to everybody. I hope the Lord blesses you abundantly. And thanks for watching. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and light this up. It's dark outside, and I want to show you folks how bright this thing can get. So I'll have to shut the lights off, and we'll light it up and see what happens. So I'm in the kitchen, and you can see I'm lit up, and the surrounding area is fairly well lit up. In an emergency situation, yes, it will provide enough light to be able to get around the cabin just fine without any problems at all. Good night.